early fall hunting season is here and it is hot out. And we want to make sure that we're building a system for the hot weather to solve for the problems of the environment we're going into. So our hot weather system wants to solve for 4 key issues. 1, we want to make sure that we're managing our moisture. 2, we want to make sure that by managing that moisture, we're regulating our body heat so that we don't overheat. We want to protect from the sun so that we don't get sunburned. And then we want to manage our hydration. So our clothing system is our first layer of protection in the elements, not only from the sun, but also from the rocks and the cactus that we may be crawling over or busting through. So we want to make sure that we're selecting clothes that are lightweight, that are breathable, that dry quick, but the key is to find something that's lightweight and also durable so they're not tearing it up and destroying it out here when I'm doing a long stalk and crawling in on an antelope and, you know, all of a sudden the knees of my pants are tore out or the seat of my pants is tore out. So nylons, especially for pants, are going to be more durable in lighter weights, a little more durable than a polyester. So I often try to default to a nylon pant. For base layers, I really like synthetic base layers because not only do they move moisture and dry quick and get that heat away from my body with evaporative cooling, but also because they're going to be, as a general statement, more durable than, say, a wool base layer. The other thing I want to make sure is that the clothes I select have at least a UPF rating of 30 or more, so that when I'm out in the middle of a big cactus flat, crawling in on an antelope, or stuck pinned down in the high country waiting on a mule deer to stand, that I'm not getting burned through my clothing. So the clothing we select and the UPF or sun protection rating that it provides is really critical. Another thing is I like hoodies because I can pull that up, and not only does that provide some concealment, but also that hoodie is going to take the sun and protect my neck and take the sun off my ears. So that's something that I really look for. And then if I'm not always wearing a hood, because sometimes it can be hot, as I look for some type of sun hat or beanie hat. Again, that's going to cast a shadow down over my nose and my ears and maybe the back of my neck to help protect from the sun. But it's also going to break up the outline of my head. So if I'm poking over a ridge, my head is not going to be as obvious maybe to the animal, and I might be able to get away with peeking over and then get ready to draw, and that may give me just the chance I need to make an accurate shot. The other thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we're providing a good sunscreen to any exposed skin. So, you know, nothing's going to drive us out of the mountains or the fields or the deserts in this early season more than getting sunburned on the first day, and then you're super painful trying to apply clothes or crawl in for the next 3, 4, 5 days. So we really want to make sure that we're covering up with clothing, but any exposed skin, if we're not wearing gloves, if we're not wearing masks, we want to make sure that we're applying a good sunscreen, 30 to a 50 UPF. We want to make sure that we put that on in the morning and then maybe reapply in the afternoon. So we want to find something that's not just going to get sweated off right away. That's going to be really critical. The other thing with clothes is when the sun goes down, so at night, the mornings, the evenings, it's going to get cool. And some of the coldest times I've ever spent outside were actually in the desert. And the reason is not because it was colder than some of the extreme cold temperatures I experienced in the mountains, but because the temperature fluctuation is so much that it's really a shock to our system. So if it's 100 degrees in the day and it's 40 degrees at night or in the morning, that 60-degree temperature fluctuation is going to be a lot for our bodies to keep up with and manage. And, you know, 40 degrees doesn't sound cold, and it certainly feels good when it's been 100 during the day, but our body is still losing heat. And again, we want to try to manage that body heat. We want to be selfish with that body heat when it's cool, and we want to give that body heat up when it's hot. So you want to make sure that you're bringing some type of static puffy jacket and a beanie. This is really critical because if not, you're going to shiver at night, you're not going to get the sleep you need, and then you're going to be tired during the day. The last thing we want to try to make sure that we've really dialed in and thought through is our hydration system. So in the hot weather, I really do like bringing a hydration bladder with a hose. I'm not a fan of that in the cold because those hoses freeze, but at this time of year, I can carry 3 liters of water on my back. It's easily accessible. I can constantly draw from that. And so I really like a bladder if I can get it. And then I'm going to try to drink, if possible, 2 of those 3-liter bladders during the day. And although that's not going to be the best hydration, if I start out the day hydrated, I try to consume 6 liters during the day, and then I try to catch up on my hydration at night. That seems to me to be adequate. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run maybe a hydration supplement through one and maybe start the day with that, then run an energy, and then run just a liter of fresh water, and I'm going to kind of alternate. And I find that for me anyways, that a hydration, an energy, and then a fresh water kind of keeps me going. Hydration is absolutely critical out here. Yeah, getting burned by the sun is going to be, shitty and maybe drive you out of the field, but a lack of hydration can kill you in these warm seasons when we're putting out so much and we're exposed to this hot temperature, and our bodies are really having to work hard to thermoregulate or, cool itself during the day and then heat itself up and stay warm at night. So, as we get into these warm early season fall hunts, super excited for it, but we want to make sure that we're putting as much attention to detail into our hot weather clothing system as we are going to later on in the year for our cold weather clothing systems.